All right, that's what we are trading. I believe this is exactly the move that we're doing. Market bounced 84,000. We are either going to 100,000 or going to 102,000 to create a shoulder level. This is in case this is bullish. We've just been looking at a weekly chart, and of course the bounce is very bullish. In case this is not that bullish, we're going to 98,000. If we're not that bullish, we're seeing, of course, we have heads, but we can consider these are higher shoulders, and this is the lower shoulder, and there's a bigger head here. Again, it shows 100,000, but usually the shoulder on the right is more inserted than the one on the left, and therefore we can get 98,000. You're looking here at 100, you're looking at 91. Right now, of course, we're at 92,800, 93,000. So we're going to 100, we're going to 96 in between 138.2 and 100, and possibly 98. So that's what we would focus on. At this point, after we do this, we think, technically speaking, we may have a crash. Let's take it to the 4 hours. We cannot rule out any negative fundamental that may drive the market down. But of course, if negative fundamental that will drive the market down will not really show until we break below the market bottom, which is around 84,000. Let's take a look at this here. So this is what's going on. We're seeing an A and a B, and we're doing a C. You can see C immediately takes you out of 94. At least we're very close to 94 now. We did actually 94 earlier Asia session, but rejected. So now we are 92,800s. We keep doing 92,500s, 800s, 600s, moving higher to 93,700s, 94,000. We're just chipping here, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, attacking 38.2. It will give way. Of course, where does it go? 96. We even have higher levels, but we're very, very conservative people. Well, why would you want to be conservative? Because you want to show results. So if I'm going for 99, I may not get it. It's not a high probability target in a daily frame or in even a bi-daily frame. Not in 36 hours, not in 48 hours. All right, so go for the shorter one, 96. So we're going to buy current market, take it to 96 if you're a swing trader, or buy current market, take profit every $350 if you're a short-term trader, all the way to 96. We see we'll be showing resistances on the 45 minutes at 94 and at 96. We're just trading a breakout of 94 to 96. But market, of course, could go higher to 100, could do 105. You're going to get this. And we don't have to bother about any of this at this point. But of course, we're going to top out in a shoulder that is relatively more induced to the downside than this shoulder here in dot 3, and probably contained by the neckline. All right, takes it to trade management. This is yesterday's 45 minutes. It worked. We did get the bounce of, this is day actually for yesterday. We did got the bounce out of 84,000 out of that level 1, and now we are supported above a breakout of level A. We are always really supported above a breakout of level E and level 3, because when we go live, find the market is 92,700s, goes to 93,700s, falls back on positive momentum. We have taken out these two level 3s. We have level 3 here and a level 3 here. So in a way, we're beginning to do the shoulder level. You want to buy the lower cycle of the shoulder level, take it, of course, to the upper cycle of the shoulder level, which is 96,000 and 96,700. So we probably have it in focus, correct, between 61.8% and 50%. Take it to today. This is today's 45 minutes. This is exactly what we're trading. We're looking at double inverted head and shoulders. We are at these shoulders, buying into these shoulders. So we have a cycle extreme now. This used to be a momentum trigger. We don't see very strong momentum on the 45 minutes. We'll check the 1 hour and the 2 hours, but anyway, the market keeps pushing higher. So we assume that this will improve. This is today's 45 minutes. We have a leg A, we have a leg B, and we are now doing a leg C. Let's take a look at the C. This is correctly segregated of the 15-minute time frame. We have a 1 and a 2. We have an internal 1 and a 2 where you meet with the neckline. Market is doing a 3, and that 3 appears to be an ending diagonal. We get to do a 3, we get to do a 4. We're of course going to be doing 5. At that point, we finished high degree 3. Leg C must be 3 swings. We've seen 1, we've seen 2, and we see 3. Probably we still have to resegregate this. It's going to be 9. Meaning we have a 1 and a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. It's an addition of 3 plus 4 plus 5. We're showing here 3, we're showing 4. In case there is a higher degree reversal, we get a 4 and a 5. 5, of course, goes higher. Targets here, of course, are still 95,880. This is the minimum. 127.2. Projection for leg A into leg C, 95,888. The next is 97,000. In between is 96,750. It's 50%. Correction usually takes us, of course, to 50%. All right. You want to focus very strongly on these two shoulders. That's why we are really showing them. The high probability trades, all right, if you wish to take them. Why would we wish to take high probability trades? Because we want to show results, of course. All right. So you have a shoulder level at level 3. You have a shoulder level at another internal level 3. This one is at 96,165. That's where we're going. And there's something here in between 50%. So if I'm looking to buy 89, so this is 90,465, I can buy the lower shoulder, take it to 96,000. Theoretically, this is possible. In reality, impossible. Seriously, because you will not get 89,000 until you have hit 96,000. So what is actually in implementation possible is to buy 50% inside the cycle and take it higher up. So I will attempt always to buy 93,300, 92,800, 92,000, of course, depending on the supports on the 15 minutes. Depending on support 1, support 2 on the 15 minutes, you would want to aim for 92,700, 92,800, 92,500, always below that 50%. This 50% is really between 61.8%, which is the lower shoulder bottom, the shoulder, and the higher shoulder, 96,165. So long as I am at 50%, the market appears to be reverberating around 50%. I buy 50%, take profit $350 higher, take profit $500 higher, and I buy just below 50%, maybe 61.8% between that 50% and 61.8%. Focus on the supports on the 15 minutes and take profit also just $500 higher, $350 higher. And recur because I'm doing a shoulder level. I'm doing this shoulder level, but I'm doing actually double shoulder levels. I'm doing the double shoulder levels, but to the right, not to the left. Let's take a look at the labels now so we understand more. Sorry, the fibs. So go back to the shoulder levels. You see, of course, top is 96,165, 50%, 93,350, and there is here 61.8%, the lower shoulder level, even below 90,465, but that was a spike. So just focus on 90,465, 90,664, 92,600, and of course, we are going to 96,750. This is the cycle top. 90,664 matches internal level 1, matches level B. All right, so you always want to buy it if you get to see it. This is the lower boundary of the cycle. You will never, seriously, we will never really get to see it. What we will get to see is internal level 1s and 3s on a 3-minute chart. There's a 1 and a 2, internal is 1 and 2, and the market is still moving higher, 3, 4, and a 5. So, of course, we take this to 3 minutes. You want to focus on this number in particular, 92,000 or 93,000, all the way down to an internal level 1 on the 3-minute chart will probably take you to 92,000. Always buy these, take profit $500 higher, and always have buy stops above the market high to take profit $500 higher. I've personally reduced profit targets to $350 and increase size. Divide that increased size by 2. Half size to the downside, top of an internal level 1 on the 3 minutes, another half side to the upside on a buy stop. And I personally have placed buy stops on a breakout from that 61.8 here all the way to 96,000. I stopped short at exactly 96,000. I'm not going for 96,700. Of course, please do due diligence, and I'm not asking anyone to follow, and everybody trades at their own risk. So the market could actually change fundamentally and can crash and break 84,000. All right, but of course, we're just trading the data that we see, and that is our bias. It could be, again, mistaken, so decrease size in order not to hold a size or a position that is not comfortable or is hard, difficult to manage. All right, let's take a look at the entries now, where we are going to be focusing on taking the entries. This is probably the correct segregation. We have a B to the downside. We're going to have a C to the downside. This is earlier. Market was 92,850. It's probably still there. I believe we have a 1 and a 2, and we have an internal 1 and a 2. We're doing a 3. Market shouldn't really fall below that internal level 1. It hasn't. That is our best entry. We take it, of course, to 3 minutes and work accordingly. Remember the strategy that I am personally implementing. Again, it could be mistaken, seriously, so please take it with caution. Segregate the 3 minutes. We're going to buy top of that internal level 1, or the relevant internal level 1, half size, take profit every $350, recur the entries, and have another buy stop for the rest of the half size above the market high, take profit every $350. Recur going into end of the week. I believe we are simply trading between resistance 1 and resistance 2 on a 15-minute chart. So very likely it's a high probability target. This is for, of course, short-term intraday trades. If you wish to do a swing trade, it may not be that easy, but if you're able to take a bounce out of level 1, we'll check it when we go live, hold it to 96,000. I believe it can work. It would be midway between the pivot level and internal level 1. All you need to do would be to run down to the 3 minutes, 5 minutes, buy negative momentum on top of level 1. We have the green arrow, have the edge, of course, below level 2, hold it to resistance 2 on the 15-minute chart. Definitely, really, I think, definitely, seriously. So we're going to focus our entries between support 1 and the pivot level. I believe we are going to 89,000. We have here 88, even maybe 88,800s. I don't think we're going as low as 88,400, but we are in between 89, the current retraction, in between 89,400s and 88,800 and 88,900. So we'd want to begin to do our entries, our long entries, short term. All right, between the pivot level and support 1, and just 38.2% above the pivot level. So we want to do them between 50% and between, we can go all the way to support 1, which is 87,700. Maybe we get a bit of a higher hit. Of course, if we get a trigger, we go on a trigger. If we get a trigger. Get a trigger means positive momentum on the 3 and 5 minutes. All right. And right now, the important focus must be on where to begin to engage the longs, whether you are a short-term intraday trader or a swing trader. And where we want to begin to engage the longs is after leg C is finished. So let the market do the correction. If you have longs, close them. If you're still holding longs from yesterday, close them. Wait for that retraction. Focus really on the pivot and level 1. These levels 1 here, which are support 1. Once we have momentum reversal at these levels, level 1 or higher, it will show, of course, on positive momentum in the 3 and 5 minutes, we begin to engage longs as a swing position or as intraday longs. All right, I believe this brings us to an end of issues and questions. Let's just do a very quick recap of what we have been looking at today. We believe we are going to get a higher gold. We've been looking at how to confirm the bounce in gold in order to take it to going into purchasing manager index today, which has been quite poor, and going into inflation numbers on Friday. We also believe that Bitcoin is a long, of course. We have just been looking at how to determine the levels of entry, whether they're going to be swing trades or intraday longs. Of course, sterling yen is a long. We already have longs, I believe, running. The next entry should be at around 206.4. Sterling dollar is a long. We just let it run to 1.34. I believe US dollar index is breaking to the downside gradually. We were at, I believe we're lower than this, 98.8 and 0.9. Market bounced to 99, so we'll still attempt to do the short at 99.3. And tech market, we had longs in the tech market as of yesterday. They're still valid until the end of the week. Going seriously, even if we have lower inflation, it would mean lower interest rates, and we should see a tech market. This was doing 25,600 earlier, 25,650. So if we wish to close out at such levels, I believe we're still going to be getting them tomorrow. We can close out our holdings then. All right. I hope today's session has been beneficial to everyone. I hope everyone I hope today's session has been beneficial to everyone. I wish everyone the very best of good fortune with the trades going into the end of the week. I hope we've been able to generate good yields this week. With this, I'll leave you all tonight. Wish you all the very best of good fortune.